Well, while we were in Southern California screwing around, we did something fun.
We did.
Yep. And so we went over to Universal Studios.
Yes.
Now that's pretty garden variety. I know everybody goes over to Universal Studios. But what made this work for us is we met a friend.
Yes.
Who knows the ins and outs of Universal.
Yes, he does.
He goes there all the time. He's there a couple of times a week, and he could show us the cool stuff that most people miss. So we went to Universal with Matt Efsick here, one of my colleagues from Brooks. He practically lives there. He knows all the right places to sit to see all the right action.
He does. Wow, talk about a hot flash.
We don't go on the rides.
No.
We're past that.
We're a little bit past it.
We just came, we wanted to see all the movie stuff, and so this is where they set fire to a stuntman to see how long he can take it before they have to put him out.
I rest my case.
And here we have Krustyland.
Oh my goodness.
Again, it's a ride, and so we didn't want to go on the ride, but it was fun to meet Bart and Homer. I try to avoid being Homer. I have a tendency to be Homer. And this was just amazing.
Oh, this was my favorite.
Wow, the wizarding world of Harry Potter. You walk in here and it's just like, you have got to be kidding. I mean, this is just massive. I mean, yes, the castle's been done in like a forced perspective, but that doesn't mean it isn't just gigantic in its own right.
Sure.
I guess everybody would want to go to Hogwarts, I mean, for crying out loud. Here we have the admissions department.
But do not sign up for the student loan.
No, not under any circumstances. Stay away from the student loans. I wanted to hire whoever built this thing to make our garden railroad for us. Is that just amazing?
The rock work is wonderful.
The whole thing. I mean, it's all just made out of cement with all this detail sort of carved into the cement. And they've got this whole village. I guess this is sort of Dagon Alley and other, I don't know what it is. I'm not that familiar, but it has a train. And you gotta love a train.
9 3/4.
9 3/4. But they've done a really respectable job of building this locomotive.
No kidding.
I was blown away. That looks really neat. I, for one, am a fan of British locomotives, and I'd love to see one in person.
So would I.
We've just got to get ourselves across the pond.
Yes.
And ride one of these.
Absolutely.
A real one.
A real one.
We usually come to Southern California to get away from the snow.
Look what found us.
Look what found us. They've done the whole thing in this fake snow, which frankly looks very, very real.
I'll say it does.
Made me want to run off and find a palm tree to sit under. We were running away from snow, not toward it.
This makes me really think that it's Hogwarts. I mean, check out that steeple.
Isn't that neat? I mean, the icicles and everything.
Right.
They've done a first-class job. Now watch what this lady's about to do. She's finding a spot, and now she's casting a spell. If you have a magic wand, you can cast spells, and they work.
Wow.
So we had to go figure that out. Watch this kid. He too is out casting spells, and he's going to his map. If you stand on these spots and then move your wand and speak the magic words, magic happens. Well, we had to figure that out.
Right.
So we went off to Gringotts to find ourselves a magic wand.
Yes, just the right one.
And they're digital. They have like Bluetooth and stuff, and that's how they're able to actually work. There's a kid over there casting a spell. And we ran into one of your favorite characters of all time, Lucy.
Yes, I love Lucy.
So to speak. This lady looks so much like Lucille Ball, and she's got all the mannerisms down. That was just really neat.
Oh, neat. look, Nectar bath treats.
I'm afraid we spent a few dollars.
We did, and it is not candy and cupcakes. This is soap.
It's soap. It just looks like food. Oh, and here we have leftovers from The Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh, more candy.
Wow, that's really neat.
And now that's all that's left, just those 3 little Who houses.
So this is, of course, the studio tour, and it's what we really came to see.
Absolutely.
You ride around on these buses, and they take you all over the back lot and to sound stages. Here's the brownstone street. Is that neat?
That is just awesome.
I just love it. Everywhere you look, you're seeing scenes from movies, and you're going, oh, over there, you know?
Yes.
That's from this movie and that movie, and it's just so amazing. And it's huge, too. We've seen so many movie stars in the movies, of course, wandering around here. We thought we might see a movie star.
Not here.
No, if you want to see a movie star, you got to go to Starbucks on Wilshire.
That's right.
Not Universal. Oh, look, Back to the Future.
Oh, my goodness, it is. You know, we should get a DeLorean.
Well, not as a daily driver.
But we could drive it from time to time.
Ooh. How come when a joke's really, really good, we say, ooh, that's bad?
No, I don't know.
Here again, everything looks so real. The bricks look like real bricks, and they're not. Everything's fake.
That's hard to believe.
But it looks so real, but
It
it's
does.
all just like sculpted. It's so hard to shoot movies on public streets. It's cheaper and easier to build your own city. And that's pretty amazing when you think about it.
All right, folks, we're going to head into this dark, scary tunnel.
Back in the 1970s, they added these features that you drive through. This one's left over from the old film Earthquake
Yes.
from the 1970s. I think it's the oldest one left here. And here's the newest one that they just added for Fast and Furious. The new technique is they 3D project human beings into the attraction. It looked like these people were there.
It did.
It's just jaw-dropping. You'd swear the room is all full of people. It's all three-dimensional and everything. And they talk to you and interact with you.
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of something. Call you back. It was on vibrate.
Show trace us. Ops can't hold forever. Lenny, Roman, we're up.
Driver, move that vehicle.
And here we have suburbia.
Yes, it is.
I like these houses.
Yes.
It's a shame they're not real houses, otherwise we might move in.
That's right.
Buy a flipper house. And a smattering of the cars that they've built for the movies.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Weird and
Oh.
crazy. Look at the Flintstones cars.
There you go.
I love that. And then down at the end here, the cars from Fast and the Furious. I'd take one of those just home.
Any of them.
Those are neat.
Is the gyrosphere from Jurassic World at Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
And here's the oldest part of the studio. Back in 1915, Universal Studios was opened by a guy named Carl Laemmle. And in 1915, well, you had to make westerns. That's what everybody made. So he bought this huge ranch in the San Fernando Valley and started making western films.
Here it comes, everybody. It's a flash flood. Hey, guess what? We did the flood on purpose, too.
Now, of course, if you're going to make western films, well, you need western towns, little
That's right.
western villages. This is the Mexican village, but then they also built western towns, look like Dodge City and that sort of thing. Just a really old west look through this part of the studio. It's really neat. Western films have always kind of come and gone in popularity. In 1915, they just owned everything. Everything was Westerns.
Right.
But then they kind of come and they go and they come back. But whenever they come back to style, Universal's ready to make Western films right here. But in the 30s, they kind of went out of style, and Universal hit on their forte, the horror film.
Oh, dear.
And they made them right here in this little village. In the 1930s, Universal just owned the horror film.
Oh, gee.
Universal Studios brought Dracula and Frankenstein and the Wolfman to the screen. And we did it right here in this village that we call Little Europe. What's he doing? Well, I guess he didn't see us. I mean, why would you do something like that? A whole tram full of people, a camera. Hey, Norman. How's it going? Look, we just got here, so we didn't see
For some reason, we all love to get scared by a movie.
We do.
It's just really fun. And this big set here is left over from, I guess you could call it a horror film or a science fiction film, War of the Worlds.
Yes.
That's a real 747 over there. And it was destroyed on purpose. It's unbelievable scene.
Well, this was really fun.
Oh, this was.
Matt, thank you very much for bringing this to Universal.
Absolutely. Thank you.
He's got a season pass, so he comes every chance he gets.
That's right.
Well, do subscribe. Here comes the button to do that with.